Question 1, we start off with our straight line equation here, and we're asked to find out what the gradient is. So it means rearranging this into the form y equals mx plus c. Let's start by just taking 2x from both sides, and then divide both sides by 3. To get 14 over 3 minus 2 over 3x. So what is the gradient? The gradient is minus 2/3. The gradient is how many x's we've got here, so it's minus 2/3. Don't put an x in. The next part says that d, this part here, d up here, has coordinates 3, 7. Find the equation of this line. Well, clearly this line is parallel to the one you just got there, so the gradient is the same. Because it's a line, we've got the equation y minus the y number equals gradient x minus the x number. Learn that, use that, it's much more helpful than y equals mx plus c. Let's put in the numbers. Y minus the y number, which was 7, equals the gradient, minus 2/3, x minus the x number, which was 3. Now it doesn't tell us to rearrange this in any particular form, so we can leave it like that and move on to the next bit. Now we're talking about the angle A to D. Sorry, not the angle, the line A to D. This line here, which you can see is perpendicular to the other two. So the gradient of this part, I'll do this one down here. The gradient we now want is going to be the negative reciprocal of the bit we had earlier. So the gradient is now 3 over 2. But the rest of it's going to be much the same as we did before. So we've got y minus the y number, which was 7, equals gradient, our new gradient, x minus the x number, which was 3. This time it does tell us to rearrange it and leave it in the form with everything over the left-hand side. So let's start by timesing everything by 2 to get rid of that fraction there. So I've times that by 2, I've times 7 by 2, and at the same time I'm going to multiply out this. So I've got 3x, take away 9. Well, let's just take those 3 x's off both sides, and we're going to add 9, so adding 9 to that is minus 5 equals 0. And that's left in the right form, don't worry about the negatives, but it's in that form there. The last part, let's scroll down and make a bit more room here. The last part asks us to find out where these two lines meet. So we've got one line here, this new one here, this 5y minus x equals 6 line, and the other line, the one we had at the beginning, 2x plus 3y equals 14. We need to solve these simultaneous equations. Probably the easiest thing to do here is just make x the subject to this equation. The subject to this equation, so it's 5y minus 6. I've taken the 6 off, I've added the y on. And now let's put that in where the x is here. So we've got 2 of them. 2 of them is 10y minus 12 plus 3y equals 14. Altogether there we've got 13 y's. Add the 12 onto the other side is 26. I've got y equals 2. Sticking y equals 2 back in here, look, 5 times 2 is 10, take away 6 is 4. So we've got the coordinates where they meet are 4, 2.